Traveling 7,000 kilometers from one place to another is one thing. Traveling 7,000 kilometers from what you know, and that's everything you know, is another thing completely. When that happens, distance and time no longer remain the tools by which you orientate yourself in this world, and they are neither the punctuation by which to tell your stories. That is my story. In April, I will be moving to Berlin. I have never known anything different but living in South Africa and studying in Grahamstown. And so, my journey in the next 3 months will be a systematic unraveling of everything I know. And the journey then to rediscover and unearth everything from myself and bury myself once more inside of what I desire. I have for this only 10 little books in the neatly stacked and sometimes quite messily stacked mind of mine. Here is number 1. My father is a Brit and my mother is a South African. She is right there. She looks very proud of me. As a South African, this means I'm born under 2 great signs, because if they had not rid themselves of everything that they were familiar with, I would not be here today. 2. I have not nearly finished everything I set out to do in Cape Town. I do not expect the same in Berlin. Berlin is not a world which I hope to conquer, but more a wall upon which I measure myself again. Upon against. 3. Start how you mean to finish. Since the hatching of this bright, wild, and quite reckless and irresponsible plan, I have discovered 3 times the pockets of beauty and become 4 times the man.
At the living room, the whole next day, live concert. I was also allowed on the mic once. I could continue for hours, and I would love to tell you about Gustavo and Fernando in every small detail. Such funny, curious, interesting personalities. Fernando, for instance, has such a lovely look on his face, and the wrinkles around his eyes when he's laughing. A beautiful soul. When we got introduced as the hitchhikers who were going to stay over, he simply said, "You know, the crisis made all of us to hippies."
I'm humbled by a train ride to Cork Bay. A trip to Berlin means that by the end of it, hopefully, I'll be wringing out the very worst and destructive parts of myself. The next one. I love my dog. He's a great dog, but love is never a good enough reason to stay in one place. There's always more.
Cape Town, Woodstock, Salt River, Observatory, Mowbray, Rosebank, Rondebosch, Newlands, Claremont, Harfield, Kenilworth, Wynberg, Witterboomer, Plumstead, Stirrup, Deep River, Heathfield, Retreat, Steenberg, Lakeside, False Bay, Muizenberg, St. James, Cork Bay, Fishook, Sunny Cove, Glencairn, Simonstown. That's the extent to my independent travels in this country. Metro Rail has seen me through the years, even though the relationship has been stifled by delays and bound by the fact that we're both one-track minded. I treat every carriage as a temporary home, welcoming strangers into my 60-plus seated carriage. I make sure they're comfortable by shifting into that tiny spot in the corner of the seat, or pile every piece of luggage I have onto my lap, so they have enough legroom for their 15-minute journey. I close my eyes and tune into a conversation, just to make up for the fact that I'm not having any. As each train speeds up, the collection of rhythms reverberating from the tracks against the wheels against the levers, and the levers against the underbelly of the carriage is enough to be translated into white noise, to make the pleasant on any commuter's ear, to make the sound pleasant on any commuter's ear. I haven't ever set foot in the kitchen, 3rd class, the place where you slow roast in the juices of an honest but hard day's work. Once, my backpack and I eloped south to Muizenberg and enjoyed our honeymoon in Port Bay. We hopped from couch to couch and on one crazy night from couch to bed. By being within earshot of the nearest train station, it means that after nights like those, you can fake the necessary formalities and exit to the next suburb to meet the unexpected.
Back to present. Lisbon. Got so far, so unexpected. In a few days towards Taos, direction Algarve. I never traveled that spontaneously. The plan was 2 weeks France, and then it just went on. In Lazard, time has no meaning. We didn't have a watch. We cooked on the fire of our self-made stove, and we were hungry. Even now, no thought about how many days will I be here with Julia. Rather a feeling to be in the present, rather a condition than a forward-moving timeline. When I'm with him, I can enjoy the us being totally here. When I'm observing him, in times he's for himself. I see how he communicates with other people. I see trifles that I know so typical for him. Then I'm getting this pull in my chest. And at the same time, the thought that I won't be able to observe him anymore soon. It has been hard as well. We both have been moody. Yuli can be a bitch. Weird how something like this happens, right? That we actually want to spend time together, enjoy the shared time, the limited time, and then simply fuck it. There has been a feeling of no deepness. But we talked about it, and now it's beautiful. Especially because we both didn't expect to go further south, that we would have so much more time together.
Between grief and nothing, I would choose grief. That is not to say that I have nothing. I have a lot, but nothing to compare itself to. Grief is the fiber to ourselves, and we should never expect to crumble what was built to stand. I have a fist full of written songs, and a boot full of stories. I also have a biography of accomplishments and a SoundCloud profile. But these are not the things that I'm relying on. Because names really do mean nothing, and in a world full of certificates and paychecks and SoundCloud accounts, it's what you've done and not what your name bought for you. We are the 21st century. We have so many choices to make, and such heavy clothing our choices become when we believe that there is only time for one. Music won't be the last.
A short update from Berlin. By now, back here, for a week. The journey, apparently only 5 weeks, appeared and appears rather like 2 months or longer. Same thing since last week Wednesday. The distance between Portugal and here feels immense. I'm neither here nor there. I'm feeling somewhere in between. That's where I am. Brief moments of sadness when I'm walking around Temple Parfait and remember to be with Yuli at the same space. The second big refugees demonstration. Yuli was here for the first one.
9. Our airplane travels and train rides and travel journals are the waiting rooms in which we pay strangers to hold what we desire, so that we can hold ourselves what we once held dear. I have been neglectful of this and have paid little interest in strangers, and I hope never to do so again after I leave. I am prepared to fail. I was never a broken man, but I do know how to pick up the pieces. And what a waste it would be if I lived a comfortable life, not knowing what music would do for me.
I'm actually really good. The new Fletcher is beautiful, and we're slowly getting to know each other. Otherwise, New York didn't work out. I will apply again to the spring fellowship. I'm not too sad about it right now. Rather in the mood, everything comes as it comes. It happens for a reason. Maybe because Yuli might be back in 2 months. Maybe. Yeah. But I would love to tell you everything personally. Everything. My Fletcher has a flat rate phone for pretty much everywhere, even abroad. Will you tell me your number? If you're having a landline. I would really love to talk to you about the wonderful, strange coincidences of feelings, about fun stuff. Jody, my housemate, tells me all about Cape Town and Observatory. He's from Cape Town, and he lived where you're living right now. About Maria and Claudius. You can't even be away for 5 weeks. Anne and Joe, and how beautiful Berlin is, if you have time, which won't last forever, but at least for a little while. I realize I can't live without a task. It's almost Easter. Do you remember? Berlin on Easter, at the sea, Hasenheide. Different times. It seems such a long time ago. I'm excited what else is going to happen. Until then, Janice.
11. These aren't rules, this is a to-do list. I look forward to meeting the French. I really would like to tell them that a man or woman smoking a cigarette does not make for a good film. 12. I am willing to be disproved about this one too.
It has been again too long that we heard from one another. I'm really sorry about that. I wanted to write you a couple of lines a long time ago. You should know, I miss you. I remembered a couple of days ago, our last journey to Malawi, our second little home, beneath many, many others. You know, I got to a point where I have the feeling to be everywhere at home. It's strange, actually, that one so often considers one specific country as home. Actually, absolutely crazy. In general, I had the feeling for a couple of weeks again to simply disappear somewhere in this lovely wide world. Just tickled simply everywhere, especially my feet, in my heart and in my head. It has to get started again. I'm feeling so unbelievably restless.
"13. I'll know in 6 months when I'm in Berlin. I have no more books to write."
I thought about you a lot in the past few days, and I realized how easy-minded you're making your way through life. Just like that, you decided to leave, without knowing what to expect.
Thank you so much for listening.
Hey?
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Traveling as anticipated, unraveling, strangers and beautiful experiences moving into your heart and your head, Metro Rail assisting you in moving from the couch to the bed. So, next up, we have got a whole bunch of stuff going on upstairs. Firstly from an artist by the name of Dan Halter.